Okay, so we're gonna do your, let's see, what is this called? Independent Professional Development Plan, and I wanna help you get started on this because it's a new system for us.
Okay, great.
And so I'll walk you through that process to make sure that you've got everything you need. So we'll start off
Perfect.
by going to the district webpage or the website. And we wanna get to the SharePoint is where we're heading to, or that,
Staff.
yep. And then right at the top there, it's DMP at DMPS SharePoint.
Okay.
Yep. And so this will be how, and what happened is Frontline, it had the absentee part of it,
Mhm.
and then they also had the PD part of it. And then on Wednesday, they actually took both of those and combined them.
Okay.
And you know how you had to have a special password and everything for one and then a different one for this one?
Mhm.
Now you don't have to have any of that. It's just your regular login for the school district.
Awesome.
I know, it's great.
Because I
So,
forget passwords all
right.
the time.
And once you've logged into it, like on your computer, it goes right there. So we're gonna
Okay.
go back to the top there and then hit staff links.
Okay.
And in the middle of the page of staff links, it says software systems.
Mhm.
And I recognize it by the big long, yep, that's the one
Okay.
you click.
All right.
And you say sign in and you're there. That's
Awesome.
it. Isn't that awesome?
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah. Now what's really cool is that they actually, you can choose between the absent management system and the professional growth.
Okay.
We're going to go into the professional growth. Perfect. Welcome to your new dashboard. And then my info is all your new info. It also shows you like when you get your evaluation, that's where you're going to sign off on your evaluation.
Okay.
The other thing too is we'll be starting to do, I know Mr. Green would like to have us start putting portfolio information in there as well.
Okay.
So we can start doing that. There's just all kinds of different things that can be gone through in that part there.
Okay.
We're going to click on the learning plan though, because that's what we're going to do is create a learning plan
Okay.
for ourselves.
Okay.
And then under where it says needs action required, you'll want to click on the blue link that says the IPDP review, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
This right there?
Yep,
Okay.
that's the one. Now, in the past, we've always like printed a paper off and you've typed it up
Right.
and then you have to go have people sign it and then you have to upload it and then you have to upload it again
Right,
and
exactly.
all that stuff. So we just have to do it here and
Okay.
it's done.
Nice.
Okay, so the top part of this is just your information about who you are,
Okay.
who your evaluator is going to be, whether you're on cycle or not for getting your
I am.
yep, for your evaluation, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But we're going to go down to where it says goals and implementation. And in the goals and implementation piece, that's where you're going to actually put in what goal are you looking for, or what goal are you going to kind of research, find out about, apply, and work towards for this year.
Okay.
And so one of the things that, like, you're doing a learning cycle with me, so a great opportunity that we would be able to put that right in there.
That's
So
what I was
one of your,
wondering. Can I
yep,
just put that right
you
in
can
there?
put that right in there. So, and what we had wrote down for our goal was use different apps and technology to engage, differentiated, track, and collect data on standard student learning. So,
So I'm gonna put that in there.
yep.
Okay.
Then the second part to that, and I put that in parentheses, or on another line, would be what Iowa teaching standards that actually hits.
Okay.
And so, like, for example, the one standard is engages in professional growth. That's 7. So
Okay.
you're definitely doing standard 7.
So in parentheses.
Yeah.
Can I just put standard 7?
You can put standard 7. But we can also look at this from the standpoint of if you see other standards that this hits, like, for example, competency and content knowledge or enhancing academic performance. If those are standards that we're also hitting through our growth that we're working on and your growth, we can put that in there. And if we do this correctly and get the right data in there, then when you do your portfolio, you can use this as one of your evidences for that portfolio.
Okay.
So,
I mean, I almost feel like we're gonna hit on this too at some point
Mm-hmm.
because I am gonna be planning for instruction
Yeah,
via
absolutely.
sending things out
Yep.
to kids. So I feel like 1, 2, 3, and 7.
So 1, 2, 3, and 7.
Yeah.
Well, how about this one? Uses strategies to deliver instruction that meets the multiple learning needs of
Oh,
students.
perfect.
I mean, that's pretty much what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. Are you going to be monitoring different students using different varieties to monitor?
Yes.
So there's 5. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. And is it going to help with classroom management?
Mm-hmm. It is. Yeah.
So, I mean, if we're going through this process through the learning cycle and we're tying in all those different pieces, you can see how this
Yeah.
reaches so many of the standards, the teaching standards.
It's,
And what's
it's
great
amazing.
about that is that this one document that we're going to put together, you can actually apply into a lot of the different areas of those standards as well. So,
That's great.
um,
Okay.
anytime you can lighten the load, I'm always for it.
Me
so.
too. Awesome.
The next part of that will be the implementation plan. And that's kind of like, what's your plan for actually pulling this thing off this year? So think about what the first step, like maybe the
Right.
first step
Well,
is
I
a
feel
learning
like-
cycle. And you know what the first step for you, because you've already told me this, is you've been reflecting on it.
Mm-hmm.
So reflecting on it, to me, that's a huge first step.
Okay. On current practices?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and then I think, I don't know where this is in the steps, but in the end, I want to be able to at least have it fully implemented for one student that's going to then be able to take that to East with them.
Perfect.
So,
So that transition for that student.
for that student.
Yeah.
Not that, I mean, I feel like I'll be working on getting all my students on it, but my goal right now is to be completed with one student.
Sure.
By the end
Yeah.
of the school year.
Yeah.
So, I don't really feel like that's the second step, but,
Well, and I don't know if we really need to go like 1, 2, 3, or 4, but these are the things that you're going to do to implement this
okay,
plan.
okay,
Another thing is you're working on a learning cycle with me.
okay.
Um, by the end of the first semester, what would you like to have completed?
Well, I would like to have, I mean, it's lofty, but I would like to have this one student up and ready to go and have some stuff ready to put in the grade book.
Okay.
So, by the semester. Data, BOE. Can I put a student's name in here or no?
It's for you, but I don't know what, I mean, with you being
I'll just put
special ed,
RT.
yeah,
Okay,
I'm not sure if we want to put their names in there specifically, but
Okay.
yeah, I
I'll
think
just
that
use
that's
his
good.
initials. Okay.
Yeah, you'll know. Second semester, any goals for the second semester?
Second semester. I want to just continue and have the platform, I guess,
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
ready to transition to high school with the student.
Okay. And if you think of something else you want to add to this, what's nice about this document is that it's a living document, so we can go
We
back
can go
in
back.
and
Okay.
keep adding stuff,
Okay.
which takes us to the next section, which is the evidence and reflection piece. What I'm seeing in this evidence and reflection piece, since we can come back to it and add to it at all times, is that you can put in there, not now, but as you're going through the process, you can go in there periodically and add the evidence or the documentation that proves what you're doing.
Okay,
Those kinds of things, almost like I completed this step and this is the evidence that says it and I'm gonna reflect on that. And that's what those two things are. At the very minimum, when we get to the end of the school year and you turn in your IPDP plan, then that's when you're gonna put in your final reflection.
okay.
Um,
So all total, could this be a 3-year plan? Because if I'm,
Mhm.
like, cause my next step would be that I want to at least be starting the process with all my students so that
Sure.
a 6th grader, by the time they leave to go to high school, that's why I'm thinking 3-year plan, 6th, 7th, they're taking it with them too.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing here is it says plan duration 1 year, 2 year, and 3 year.
So I could put,
I'm thinking that you can do 3 year.
okay,
And we don't know, but since this is new, I'm not exactly sure how that'll look next year and the year after.
Okay.
The assumption that we've made, Virginia and I, is that that second year plan will have all the information already inputted, and then you're just putting in your evidence and your reflections on each step, that kind of
Okay.
thing. And same with the 3 year. And I'm betting at some point, like if you get really good at it and you're like, after year 2, I don't want to work on this anymore, I want to move to something else. I'm sure that that's an easy thing we can do
Okay.
as well, so.
okay,
So then the next thing is peer review. And in this peer-to-peer review, we didn't do this last year, but this is something that we need to make sure that we're doing. And that's basically finding somebody that you can go and review or watch or look at and kind of give feedback on or takeaways for that.
okay,
And they have this broken up into 3 dates. So like meeting date number 1 would be like the date that you sit down with whoever it is you want to view and talk about, okay, what date am I going to go in there? What kinds of things I'm looking for? What kinds of things are you going to come into my room and look for? Those
Okay,
kinds of
yeah.
things. So like Miss U would be a good example. You might want to go in and shadow her one day and give feedback and takeaways, and she might want to come in here too. So
okay,
then the second meeting date is kind of the date that you're planning on actually going in and doing that observation and the things that you may have saw or that she maybe had seen when she came in. It has your date and then the peer's date, so I'm guessing that that's kind of like this is when the peer is going to come in as well.
right, okay,
And then the last date would be kind of like that peer-to-peer reflection when you sit down and actually have the conversation of
okay,
this is what I saw, this is what I like, what did you see in my room, and then do the final reflection on that. So,
okay,
okay?
yep,
Once you get done with that, then we submit it at the end of the year and it's done.
awesome.
Which is so nice because you're not downloading, uploading, and doing all kinds of other stuff. So
Okay,
I'm going to have you scroll down to the bottom. Since the last 2 sections are really things that we'll be progressing through as we go, there's 2 buttons. One is just save, and the other one is save and send. I think is that what it says? Save and notify. So the save will actually save it into the cloud for you to always get back to.
okay,
And it's pretty cool because I actually did mine 2 days ago, and I was able to pull mine back up again today. So that's where I printed this off. And
Oh,
I was
nice.
able to actually print a hard
A
copy from it
okay,
as well. So you could, if you wanted to, you could print this off and put it in something on your desk, and then you can refer back to it or write on it so you know what to put in later.
okay,
The save and notify is the one that I did to make sure that everyone in the admin and knows that I actually completed this because they're asking us to get this done.
okay,
So you hit save and notify, and then from there it's going to ask you who to notify and what your message is.
okay,
So like you've got somebody that's going to be evaluating you. I'm not sure who.
Cardenas,
Cardenas. So then you can actually pick him,
okay,
and then in the message you can say, here's my IPDP, or IPDP's completed, or however you want to put it, and hit send. And what happens is it saves into your file and sends him a
What is-
message saying
what is the
I got this
abbreviation
together.
for it?
IPDP.
Oh, IPDP.
And
Okay,
that's it.
all right, so save and notify, okay,
And now
Great.
you're done.
awesome, thank you very much.
Yeah, and if you need, and being your instructional coach, I'll help you through this, and we can, if you have questions or whatever, I'll go find and we'll start inputting this stuff more and more then.
High five.